American Picker star Danielle Colby is bringing her unique passion of burlesque to the Quad Cities.
Her museum dedicated to the genre will open tomorrow in Davenport.
For years, Danielle Colby was one of the most recognizable faces on American Pickers. While Mike Wolfe and Frank Fritz traveled across America searching through dusty barns, forgotten garages, and hidden collections, Danielle served as a heartbeat of antique archaeology. She wasn't simply answering phones or managing appointments. She brought personality, humor, and a unique perspective that helped define the show's identity. That's why fans became concerned when her appearances seemed to change over time. Viewers started asking questions. Had Danielle left the show? Was there trouble behind the scenes? Had a falling out occurred that nobody was talking about? As the rumors spread across social media and fan forums, many people assumed the answer had to be something dramatic. But the reality is far more complicated, and in many ways, far more human. To understand what really happened, it helps to look at who Danielle Colby was before American Pickers ever existed. Long before television cameras entered her life, Danielle was deeply involved in the world of burlesque performance. Performing under the stage name Danny Diesel, she spent years organizing shows, supporting performers, and preserving an art form that she believed carried an important cultural history. While millions of viewers would later come to know her through antiques and collectibles, her passion for history had always existed. She wasn't interested in preserving the past simply through objects. She cared about preserving stories, traditions, and artistic legacies. That passion would eventually become one of the defining themes of her life. Her friendship with Mike Wolfe began years before American Pickers became a reality. When Mike started developing the concept that would eventually become one of the History Channel's most successful programs, he wanted people around him whom he trusted. Danielle was one of those people. When American Pickers premiered in 2010, nobody could have predicted just how successful it would become. The concept sounded simple enough. Two pickers would travel the country searching for forgotten treasures, while sharing the stories behind the objects they discovered. But audiences quickly connected with something deeper. The show wasn't really about antiques. It was about history, nostalgia, and the people whose lives were reflected through the items they collected. Danielle helped bring that emotional connection to life. Her personality added a different energy to the show, making it feel less like a business and more like a group of friends uncovering pieces of America's past. As the years passed, American Pickers grew into a cultural phenomenon. Millions of viewers tuned in every week. Antique archaeology became a destination for fans. The cast became television stars. Yet success often comes with challenges that viewers never see. Long filming schedules, constant travel, promotional appearances, and the pressure of maintaining a hit television series can take a toll on anyone. While fans watched the finished episode from home, the people making the show were living a very different reality behind the scenes. For Danielle, the demands of television existed alongside passions and ambitions that had never disappeared. Even while helping build American Pickers into a major success, she remained deeply committed to burlesque, historical preservation, and creative projects outside the television world. As the show entered its second decade, significant changes began affecting both the series and the people involved. One of the biggest developments came with Frank Fritz's departure. For years, the chemistry between Mike Wolfe, Frank Fritz, and Danielle Colby have been one of the show's greatest strengths. Their history together created a natural dynamic that audiences trusted. When Frank left the series, many viewers immediately noticed that something felt different. The show continued, but was no longer exactly the same version that fans had fallen in love with during its early years. Danielle found herself navigating those changes while simultaneously facing challenges in her personal life that were far more significant than anything happening on television. Health issues began forcing Danielle to reevaluate her priorities. She publicly discussed dealing with uterine fibroids, a condition that eventually led to a hysterectomy. Recovery from major surgery can change a person's perspective on life. It creates time for reflection and often forces people to think differently about how they spend their time and energy. Before she had fully moved beyond those challenges, Danielle faced additional medical concerns. She later revealed that she had undergone surgery involving a facial tumor and was diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia, a painful nerve disorder known for causing severe facial pain. These experiences weren't small setbacks. They represented major health battles that affected both her physical well-being and her outlook on the future. When people face serious health challenges, they often begin asking themselves difficult questions. What truly matters? Which goals have been postponed for too long? What dreams still deserve attention? Danielle had spent more than a decade helping build one of television's most successful reality series. She had achieved recognition, success, and stability, but she also had passions that existed long before American Pickers ever entered her life. As she recovered from these medical challenges, it became increasingly clear that she wanted to devote more energy to those passions. Around the same time, fans began paying close attention to her social media activity. Every post seemed to generate new speculation. Some viewers interpreted certain messages as hints that she was moving on from American Pickers. Others believed she was simply focusing on different projects while remaining connected to the show. The internet did what it often does, transforming small details into major rumors. Yet throughout all the speculation, one thing remained noticeably absent. There was no public feud. There were no explosive interviews. There were no accusations, scandals, or dramatic revelations. Instead, what emerged was a picture of someone whose life was gradually evolving in new directions. One of the biggest clues came through Danielle's growing commitment to preserving burlesque history. For years, she had spoken passionately about the importance of protecting the legacy of burlesque performers and educating people about the art form's cultural significance. As time passed, these efforts became a larger part of her professional identity. She wasn't simply returning to an old hobby. She was pursuing a mission that mattered deeply to her. In many ways, the work reflected the same values that had made her such an important part of American Pickers. Both pursuits were ultimately about preserving history. The difference was that one focused on antiques while the other focused on artistic heritage. At the same time, Danielle began exploring opportunities that offered greater creative freedom. Television can provide incredible exposure, but it also comes with limitations. Networks set schedules. Productions establish priorities. Creative decisions often involve many different people. Independent projects offer something entirely different. They allow creators to choose their own direction and focus on the subject that matter most to them. Through podcasts, historical preservation projects, performances, and other ventures, Danielle gradually expanded her professional life beyond the boundaries of a single television series. Family considerations also played an important role. Like many people, Danielle reached a point where balancing professional obligations with personal responsibilities became increasingly important. Public statements over the years reflected her commitment to supporting loved ones during difficult times. Those responsibilities naturally influenced how she chose to spend her time and energy. Television success may be valuable, but family often comes first. For Danielle, that reality appeared to shape many of the decisions she made during this period of transition. What many fans interpreted as a sudden departure was actually something much more gradual. Danielle wasn't simply walking away from American Pickers because of one event. Instead, her life was moving in several new directions at once. Health challenges had changed her perspective. Creative ambitions were demanding more attention. Personal responsibilities were becoming more significant. Meanwhile, the show itself was evolving as it entered a new chapter following major cast changes. When all those factors came together, it created the impression that Danielle was leaving behind a role that had made her famous. The truth is that Danielle Colby's story isn't really about leaving something. It's about growing beyond something. American Pickers gave her a platform, introduced her to millions of viewers, and helped establish her public identity. But the interests and passions that defined her life before television never disappeared. They remained part of who she was all along. As opportunities arose to pursue those passions more fully, she embraced them. That doesn't make her journey a story of conflict or controversy. It makes it a story of personal evolution. Today, Danielle Colby remains one of the most memorable figures ever associated with American Pickers. Her contributions helped shape the series during its most successful years and played a major role in building the loyal audience that continues to support the show. Yet her legacy extends beyond reality television. Whether through historical preservation, creative projects, advocacy for burlesque history, or the personal challenges she has openly discussed, Danielle has consistently shown a willingness to follow her own path. That path may look different from the one viewers first saw in 2010, but it reflects the same qualities that made audiences connect with her in the first place. So when people ask why Danielle Colby left American Pickers, the answer isn't a shocking scandal or hidden controversy. The real answer is much simpler. After years of success, health struggles, personal growth, creative exploration, and changing priorities, Danielle reached a point where her life was expanding beyond a single television role. What many people viewed as an ending was actually the beginning of a new chapter. And sometimes, the most important stories aren't about walking away from the past. They're about deciding what comes next.